Dragon Rage is a create-own book that I'm going to be doing. But first, I got to get the last of my freelance work out. And that's what this is. This is part of that. It's a cover that I'm making for an artist named Joe Sontag. And Joe is extremely talented, really cool guy. He's been out on the channel several times, so you guys may recognize that name. Really, really cool and very talented guy. So I'm going to try to finish up this cover. It's his character. It's a character called for a book. I don't know what the character's name is, but the book is called Reaper Destroyer. It's a book of his that it's been his passion project for quite some time, and he's now going. Now is the right time, to get his project out there. So he is going to work on this book. Kaiju Crusader, do you have any advice on drawing the torso? I'm always bad at drawing that part of the body. Yeah, remember that any part of anything that you draw, I love to draw animals, and what makes it easy is that you have to remember that you can break down everything into simple shapes. Dave Finch had mentioned, and he talked about the Loomis method and stuff like that, and that's the same thing I learned to draw from George Bridgman, Loomis, and stuff like that, Andrew Loomis. But anything can be broken down into shapes, and so when you're drawing a torso, it's the exact same thing. Torsos are, just think of them like a figure, like a mannequin, and when you break down a mannequin, right? So let's take a quick moment. We'll zoom in. All right, so mannequins usually have like this oval head, right? And the torso area is going to be kind of like this round thing. Okay. This guy's going to be in the Superman pose, like, ooh. And any shape, let's make them cylinders. Okay. And those are cylinders for his arms. Torso, remember that you have a grid for it. Okay, he's gonna have like a chest area right here, even a round little cylinder for his head. His waist is gonna be just a little round curve. He's gonna have like whitey tighties, right here. So let's say he's doing the cool Superman pose, his little whitey tighties. Now for me, I do even a little more grids. I like to do this like real quick. Throw these kind of like lines to I like to do the John Buscema. I like to spread the legs apart to make him seem a little more interesting in the stand that he's gonna have, right? So that's just the way I actually draw. I draw these little things like this, and then I come back in and I work on the construction. But because we are breaking things down into a shape, right? So, and there are several things. We got to make sure that it follows the perspective. That's not the line that I want to do for the perspective. On that one, sorry, I couldn't bend my arm. There we go. So let's say this is the torso right here, and that's basically, you got to remember that the torso has, then you later break it down, you have a rib cage, but you want to remember all the basic shapes. Right here it kind of dips in a little, the rib cage, this kind of curves, it goes like kind of like this for the torso, and this is the pectoral muscle. This is right above where the rib cage thing that Jim Lee likes to draw. These are the abdominal muscles, a belly button, and we give them the V shape that I no longer have, guys. I've gained weight. You want to make sure you give them a large enough chest area as well, because you got to be able to support organs and stuff like that. Before you really start worrying about like muscles and all that, you know, stuff, the groin area would be right here. So before you really start worrying about like all the muscles and stuff like that, anatomy, learn to draw a mannequin. Draw the mannequin first. And then, you know, you start playing with the mannequin, you know, and then you come in and you go, oh yeah, look at this guy. Whoop, he's chilling, man. This guy's just, he's chilled. Yeah, he's got his arm up. He's just relaxed. Look at that. He's just, and he's got the TV remote in his hand. Hey, y'all. You know, there's the center line right there. He's got one leg just coming down. Maybe he's kicking it forward. You know, and don't worry about accuracy. Just, you know, try to draw. You know, this guy just chilling on the couch. There it goes. And that's me right after this stream. I'm gonna go chill on the lazy boy. You know, we can even bend this leg differently too, because, you know, I don't want it to look like, ew, the guy broke his leg. Let's just do the regular one that everybody does. He's got the regular sitting down. He's got one foot kind of lean sideways. But so anyway, you just then you got to put like ears on him. He's wearing a baseball cap because cool guys wear baseball caps. But anyway, learn to draw. Learn to draw the mannequin where the arrow is. You know, do that. The mannequin is shapes. So when you remember that the torso is just more like it's more like a longer cylinder shape like that, and then it is broken into a little bit of a grid. You know, like right here would be the pectoral muscle. This would be where the top of the rib cage, and then it goes into the abdominal muscles. His waist is a little smaller, kind of like a round cylinder. And then his waist looks like he's wearing whitey tighties, you know, little white underwear. So first draw them in the mannequin in shapes, break down the human form in basic shapes, then learn to do loose gesture drawings. Don't worry about accuracy, just, you know, really quick, you know, fluid, you know, like this, just like, you know, what is he doing? I think he's punching or something. What is that? And just loosely, you know, start to draw stuff, you know, like, you know, just real quick. Doesn't matter. It's only for you. Nobody else is gonna see it, you know. And it's like, what is he doing? What is this? Oh my God, he's flying a kite. He's getting blown away by the kite. Oh my goodness. You know, he's holding a little kid's hand. The little kid's moving too. Like, wow. You know, and just go through and really just have a lot of fun with it. You know, and the little kid's looking the other way or something. Maybe he's pointing over there. Hey, my hand. I don't know. I don't want to go that way. Shirts are blowing up. You know. Whoa. You know, just real quick, loose gestures. Have fun. Draw a bunch of these over and over and over. You know, whatever it is you feel like drawing. I mean, I don't know. I just, you know, real quick stuff. Whatever. comes to mind. But that's how you break down the figure. And you don't have to copy poses. You don't have to look for reference if you can learn to break down the human anatomy in that simple, basic form. And then work on very loose drawings. And then you use your brain then to extrapolate, you've seen the detail and you know how a human body works in form. And then what happens is you can then move and bend the body and rotate it. Imagine all the different camera angles, and always make sure to draw the figure in perspective. No matter how you want to draw a human figure, if the human figure wants to be in a down shot like this, that just means that when you draw the human figure in the exact same pose that I just did, you want to make sure that it is all in that perspective, so that you are foreshortening everything correctly. It still has the leg meat there. So the guy is inside a collector's case. He's like, hey guys, you put me in this collector case, right? So you want to draw him the same pose, with his hands on his shoulders, but you want to draw everything in the right perspective. And how do you draw the human figure in a perspective? Is that you draw them like this, in there, where everything, his shoulders go that way, his elbows, his hips, his knees, everything goes to a vanishing point out here, somewhere out there, So that's real quickly, in a nutshell, going past how do you draw torsos and stuff. But this seems to be like the biggest question for people. And of course, like when I'm actually drawing, like if you guys were to, what do I have that I drew? I did a cover for Kozor. This is the cover that I did. I started the exact same way with them. I did all loose, rough renderings, drawings. In fact, I have those covers right here. So that cover started out like this. This is a different variation, but I started it like this somewhere. There they are. This is how I draw. This is the cover right here. You see I draw very loose. I draw right through. I draw gestures. I don't worry about erasing or trying to go to a finished drawing right away. You don't. You draw these loose, quick gestures like we just saw the guy sitting on the chair. Really loose. Then once I've found everything, that all the information that's there, that's the right camera angle, that's where basically the pose that I want him sitting in, then I go into finished art, and then my cover will look like that. Sorry, commercial break. All right. So start, preliminary, rough, and completed. So I thank you guys, everybody, for coming by, hanging out. I'm going to be doing a lot more drawing stuff now. This is my last ink one that I'm doing. Well, actually, this is my last like ink work over somebody else. I am actually going to be doing inking my own. This is my own pencils for my book, Dragon Rage. So underneath are my pencils. This is what I penciled and then said, that's enough pencil right there. And I've got all my information. I've done some practice rendering in there, that how I want to render the dragon. And I finished up the rest in ink. Well, I mean, I'm still working on it. So as soon as I finish Joe's, I'm going to hop right back on, finish this. Then I got to do character designs because Dave Finch is doing the cover. So I'm going to have a Dave Finch cover. I got to get character designs to him so that he can do a way better cover than I did. I'm so proud of this cover. I love it, but I already know, man, when it's a Dave Finch cover, it's going to be way better than mine. But I'm okay with that. But anyway, I appreciate everybody coming out, you guys hanging out. If you guys would like for me to do more sit down and like actually go over like art stuff, let me know. I'm going to be doing some drawing. And so what I will do is we can do some stuff like this. I can show you guys my gesture drawings, and there's actually a video where I drew that cover I did for Kozor. If you look back on the previous videos, there's about 3 videos, the very preliminary, then the pencils and the inks. So you guys can see my process that way if you want to go through. But as well. And oh, not a person. He says, also remember the line of action. What a line of action is it's also called a center line. The center line is where the movement and the weight of a human figure in a body. So I'm so glad you reminded me of that, because this is in here in this particular gesture is that line of action, or center line. Everybody has a very different style of technique that we refer to it as. But anyway, that's the basic line that goes through, which it flows with the leg. It's somewhat, I purposely put the hand outward just to kind of make it flow like that. And that's what we refer to as the center line or line of action in gesture drawings that we do. But, I want to encourage you guys to try, as much to just go draw mannequins, draw the human figure in shapes. Don't worry about putting faces. Don't worry about putting clothing, rendering. Just skip all that. Draw a couple of pages of that. And in a particular, when you have a couple of pages, fill that page up with as many tiny little bitty gestures, drawings of the human mannequin. Then later you move into these like real quick gesture drawings with that line of action, the center line and all that, where the flow of movement. And then you want to start then not only doing the action poses, but you need to have a seated character, make it look really interesting, and then learn to do down shots, learn to do up shots, learn to rotate and bend and move. But once you know how to draw the human figure in shapes, you can then draw it in perspective, and then you can rotate and move that perspective. It's something that can be learned. It's a skill. It's not a gift. When we say some artists are gifted, it just means that some artists are able to understand this stuff much naturally. But this is a skill that anybody can learn. Anyone can learn to draw. And how well you're going to be as an artist, that's up to you. How much time you spend, if you wanted to learn to be a painter, like painting houses, painting cars, not a painter like, Bob Ross, but if you want to learn to paint cars or work on auto repair, you have to spend hour after hour working on it. And the more that time you spend, the better mechanic, the better, engineer, the better, auto body repair, whatever. It's the same thing when it comes to art. So don't be, misled when we say, oh, that it's a talent. This person's gifted or talented. That just means that they just understood it naturally, and that they still have to learn. But they may pick it up a little faster, a little quicker. But why is one artist better than another? We don't really know. We believe that creativity comes from the right side of the brain, and that our creativity is a muscle. That is how it's described, and that you have to flex, you have to exercise and condition that muscle, and that the muscle can be built and become strengthened. So you draw with your mind, but you then transfer that to your hand. It's hand-eye coordination, but you're really using your mind's eye. You're really trying to visualize and see everything in these shapes, no matter what you're looking at. When you go outside and you look at your car, you look at your computer screen right now, look at the shapes. What shape is your computer? Is your computer a big rectangle? Is it cylinder? What is it? Your cell phones and all that, just, and move your cell phone around. Think of the perspective and how it foreshortens how you move your cell phone. And that's all a human body is this is just one shape, one particular part of a human body. But as I rotate it, it begins to look like a different shape. It begins to look foreshortened. And that's all we're doing to the human body, is that we're drawing it in basic shapes. There are several different shapes combined to make the human figure move and bend and to look like a human figure. But yeah, thanks so much for reminding me about the center line. I appreciate everybody, your time and everything. I really do appreciate that. I'm going to try to finish up the inks here tonight. Get this out to the colorist. I know the colorist has been waiting on this. And thankfully, you know, they're very patient. There wasn't a deadline on it because, man, I was swamped with so much work. I was trying to take on a whole lot, but, you know, it was for a good cause. It was to, all the funds went to this channel to be able to do what I'm doing right now. And now I want to provide you guys with the content of me creating my own characters, my own project, my own book. And you guys get an inside look to that. You get to see me, like I said, you can see me do sketches and covers and how I'm going to lay out my pages and do finished, you know, my early sketches to, you know, finished, fully rendered. But thanks again, guys. You guys all stay safe. I do have daily art streams, so every day there will be an art stream. Wednesday and Saturday are when I have open streams or I have a guest. I'll either invite out some of my peers and my friends, and they'll come out and they'll, you know, you guys can ask, these guys have been working in the industry for a very long time. You can ask them questions and be part of the stream. You know, I think that's a lot of fun to do that. You know, it's something different that's, you know, I don't want to be a channel that's yelling about the comic book industry or complaining about the comic book industry or mainstream comics or, you know, just be an art stream. You know, I do want to provide you guys with an inside look, answer questions, be interactive. And then I also want to do things like bring you guys in, and you guys get to use my platform that I've created here and use it for your benefit, for exposure. I want you guys to come on here as well. Hang out with me when I do my open streams, show off your artwork, share your Instagram, share off, you know, what your art station is. And that's usually every Wednesday night and every Saturday. So this Saturday I'll be doing that. We'll have a lot of different people. Like I said, some of my friends on here that watch are editors, are publishers, and they've emailed me and asked me for a certain particular artist that was on here before for his or her email. So I have to follow up on that. I wonder if that person got work, but you never know who's going to see you. So thanks again, guys. You guys all stay safe. I'll see you guys again tomorrow in my next stream. Thanks again.